y'all. Hey Pisces, it's your girl JV. Back at it again with the general tarot reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Gemini season 2021. Y'all, it's a whole mess. I've been trying to do y'all's reading for like 2 days. And it's been pretty all over the place. But first things first, Pisces, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want you to know your body will reward you for sleep. Patreon's getting everything first, so definitely chime in and join the Patreon family for daily tarot readings. Check out my Instagram, justj_everything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. So Pisces, sleep is a big thing. And I know that no one needs to convince you to take a nap, but there may be a lot of things going on that's maybe preventing you from doing your normal habits or being in your normal habitat or something of that nature. So there will be rewards for you listening to your body, listening to your intuition, that coming in, especially with Venus and Cancer. Now, when I leaned in your energy, a big thing was about like finding your flow within the scattered, within the chaos. Like you're no stranger to it. But like for instance, like I randomly went to bed last night at like 8:30. The sun was still out. Took a nap, woke up, said I wasn't gonna do this, then got inspired to do this, and it's just, now it's 2:30 in the morning. And so there is something about there is something coming up about like clarifying your rhythms, your cycles. I just heard like circadian rhythm. Like there is a need to just honor that within yourself. It doesn't need, and you also need to stop feeling guilty for your rhythm or the way that you do things. Also, Pisces, learn to read the room. And leave it at that. Neptune, your ruling planet, is in the last decan of Pisces, so you're still dealing with, facing, resolving a lot of darkness, possible drama. Neptune retrogrades in Cancer season, so we will talk about that then, but you may already be feeling the retrograde. That could be something that's coming in. But I do feel like with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, so close to you guys, there is this like picking up. It feels kind of anxious. Like, not anxious, yeah, I'll say anxious for some. But it feels like urgency is what I feel for you guys. And definitely when Mars goes into Leo, I think that that's going to be a fire that gets lit under everybody. So I'd rather you get prepared and proactive rather than anxious or fearful. On June 5th, Mercury retrograde in Gemini will be squaring Neptune in Pisces. So do not tackle any important shit that involves communication, technology. I mean, if you can avoid signing big contracts, just make sure that it's like, you don't have to avoid it, but if you have to go through with it, just make sure you read all the fine print, that you don't rush through anything. This transit, this Mercury retrograde is never meant to keep us from doing things. It's meant to slow us down so that we can take a look at everything that we're doing and make sure everything is what it really is supposed to be. Avoid debates, avoid unnecessary conversations. Definitely do what you can to get the facts first. Get all the facts first before acting, before doing, before deciding anything. On June 13th, the sun will be squaring Neptune. Stay your ass at home. Stay in bed. Say less. Just like know that there could be a lot of chaos that comes up that week. And you need to do what you need to do. I also feel like it is going to be like you guys may be dealing with like actual body heat or body temperature regulation issues. Some of you may be going through like the change, may feel like you're having menopause, that kind of thing. So there could just be like flares of like actual heat, flares of anger, things of that nature. So it's just like escape, find something healthy to escape into, please, that week. Jupiter in Pisces retrogrades on June 20th. And it goes back into Aquarius on July 28th. So there are still big changes to be happening, but less lucky. But either way, it's really important that you guys, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, listen to your intuition and know your audience. Read the room was a big thing that came through. So, because Geminis need constant stimulation, we are switching it up and using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. And also, because Gemini rolls the lungs, I want you to empty yours. Exhale all the way. And then take a really big breath when you can. Because we are looking for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Gemini season 2021. Pisces, that, I know a card came out, but that finding your rhythm and honoring your rhythm is a really big thing. And you may have already found your rhythm. You may be having to explain your rhythm to other people or find work that better suits your rhythm, like your circadian rhythm. Like some of you are fucking night owls, some of you really like getting up early in the morning, some of you don't like that. So there is this need to, Queen of Pentacles, yes, this is definitely something in regards to work. I would say start investing at the hours of the day when you feel the best. There is something, some of you may be changing shifts, or an opportunity or a position comes where you need to choose a shift. Choose it based on when your peak hours are. I also feel like Queen of Pentacles being the first card out, there's definitely someone with heavy Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn placements that is prioritized. That is important. If this isn't a person, then Pisces, Queen of Pentacles is coming out to say, hey, what's going on with your self-worth? What's going on also with like money, how you're providing stability for yourself? How are you nurturing yourself on a very practical, physical, plane level? What's going on with eating? What's going on with drinking? What's going on with your dietary habits? Are things actually improving? Are you sticking to the routines or the goals or the restrictions that you may have set for yourself? Some of you may be trying to like quit smoking or quit drinking or start jogging or start cooking or a new workout routine or something of that nature. And it's really important that you actually take on very small tasks. Don't say I'm going to lose 20 pounds in a month, or I'm going to go vegan overnight, or like whatever it is. Like not everybody, some people can do that. I did it, but not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? And so give yourself a practical way to build self-trust with yourself. there is this there is something about taking your time with yourself, being really gentle with yourself as you're trying to change routines or habits. There may be new routines or habits that are hard for you to keep up with, but they're important for you to tap into. They're important for you to perpetuate or for you to invest in. All right, Pisces. 8 of Swords. This has come out for almost every reading, I feel like, too. Some of you, I feel like, are struggling with your self-worth. Saturn is retrograde, so there could be tension with or regarding work, public life, Capricorns, Aquarians, or people with heavy Capricorn, Aquarius placements. Saturn is retrograde, so business is going to be slowing down or maybe getting really mundane or maybe getting really, really overwhelming. But either way, the only way for you to properly deal with everything that's before you is for you to really take a look at yourself, the ways that you've restricted yourself, the words that have restricted yourself, the mindsets, the programming, the mental settings, the mental health habits, your coping mechanisms, your defense mechanisms, and your ability to really accept the reality of everything of what it is. Something can't be glossed over. There may be something that like you really have to put in the work to see the truth of, to see the reality of. Queen of Swords, 3 of Wands, Death. There is intense metamorphosis. Bottom of the deck, the Emperor. Sorry, on my damn crystals. Pisces, it's really important that you get out of your head and say what needs to be said. It's really important that you do what you can to articulate yourself, articulate your boundaries, articulate the ways that you don't want to be restricted anymore, that you articulate your rhythms and your worthiness to other people in a healthier way. There is something maybe even about the way that you're seeking validation or the way that you have your current sources of validation in your life maybe altering. I do feel like there is tension with like multiple people here. The Queen of Pentacles and also the Queen of Swords. So there could be tension with someone with heavy Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn placements, but I don't feel like this is tension with this person. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles, the person with heavy Earth placements, is highly prioritized. There may be tension, but it doesn't feel like severing or anything like that. It also feels like you and the Earth person may not be seeing each other clearly. And because of that mercurial miscommunication and disillusionment and your Neptune retrograde that's coming up, I do feel like clarification, the Queen of Swords is out, clarification is needed. But I also feel like there are two women in your life. They don't have to be women, but there are two people in your life that I feel like what's in between them is like wishful thinking, or what's in between them isn't like the truth. You may be feeling like it coming from multiple sides in some way. There could be multiple, like maybe you're feeling ganged up on by someone, or maybe you are feeling The need to really, okay, for some of you, I feel like there are people in your life right now who you may be hearing like harsh or painful truths from, and what's excuse me, what's in between and what's coming up is like, hey, there's some stuff going on that like you're really needing to go inward and take a look at, and looking at your behavior, looking at your thought processes. And because I feel like some of you are being asked to change, some of you are being asked to evolve, and you have the option to figure out if this request for evolution or change, or you may be asking someone that of someone, they may not like that and turn their back on you. There may be some sort of, like, you have to be willing to let go of some stuff. And this could be willing to let go of some perspectives, willing to let go of some arguments, not wanting to look at certain things, choosing to, pick better battles. More like battles that actually like you can win, or that actually matter. There is something about, there may be somebody with heavy Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius placements also, that there's definitely a struggle with people with heavy air and fire placements. Libra, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There are big transformations, death style endings, and or transformations or metamorphosis in regards to these connections. Also, I feel like big transformations in regards to your father. There may be some sort of mourning that is taking place, grief, loss, sadness. Some of you may be actually experiencing death or witnessing the death process in some sort of way. And there is a big need to turn your back on any of the like small time like bullshit interactions or acquaintances or arguments or debates. It's just like, what really matters, Pisces? It's time to figure out what really matters, because a lot is evolving, a lot is changing, a lot is ending. And you can't be afraid to go and see what's on the other side of that. I do feel like some of you are in a place of trying to get mastery over your grief, or being motivated by grief, being motivated by sadness or loss, or regret in some sort of way. There is help coming. There is replenishment. But the Emperor on the bottom of the deck says, the Emperor, 5 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, this is like, and I know we're getting into plunge territory here, the Star underneath that. Whatever it is that is ending, you are being divinely guided to healing and restoration. Hold out hope. If there is any kind of like sickness or illness that you guys are experiencing within yourselves or dealing with on a regular basis, some of you work in hospitals. Some of you are spending a lot of time in hospitals recently, and or medical facilities or things of that nature. And so I feel like there is, and I feel like maybe some of you are just around loss, grief, maybe counselors, things of that nature. And I just heard like death doula, somebody maybe, and that's come up a lot. I feel like in Gemini season, it's like that's very scorpionic. So some of you are really turning your back on, some of you are turning your back on a day-to-day to go towards or pursue something that's very scorpionic. Maybe something in like divination, sex, death, and other people's money, things of that nature, very 8th house activities. Some of you are like saying fuck it and diving back into your magic, diving back into divination in some kind of way. And it's really going to transform your life. Some of you are turning your back on an air or, I feel like some of you are turning your back on someone with heavy air placements and pursuing possibly a Scorpio or an Aries, or someone with heavy Scorpio or Aries placements. I even feel like Capricorn, because Pluto is retrograde. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn right now until October. And so but the star here says there is healing, there is hope, there is restoration, there are things to be faithful about, to be disciplined about, especially like no crying over spilt milk. If you're in the face of darkness or actual death or loss or regret, or just huge changes, and you may feel like, what the actual fuck is going on? The way to respond to that is self-love. And the highest octave of self-love is discipline. What are you doing on a regular, regimented, day-to-day basis that is going to get you to a place where you're willing to take the blindfold off, see the ways that you've kept yourself stuck, transmute your pain into wisdom, tell it like it is, make the cuts that need to be made, be willing to change your mind when new information is presented so that you can turn your back on the bullshit and tend to what you've already set in motion. Because some of you've already made certain decisions, or decisions have already been made for you, especially with that eclipse energy coming in. And it's interesting. I just got this thing of like someone barging in, and like your dad or somebody like barging in, or an authority figure, or someone like barging in your room being like, I'm doing, like, be quiet. Or it feels like you're back at home for some of you. That could be something. Dealing with being reprimanded, and really, or dealing with someone enforcing different kind of rules than you are used to in some sort of way. There may be somebody treating you like a child at work or within your friend group, but I'm going to say this, there is some truth hidden in it. There is something for you to explore about kind of growing up in some way, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is like, okay, the milk has spilled. How did we used to handle the spilled milk? How did that work out for us? How can we stop the cycle and pay more attention and make sure that, how can we put the milk in a different glass? One with a lid. There's just like another level, like a turning of a table in regards to like getting solution oriented rather than focusing on the problem or focusing on what hurts. I mean, welcome to life. Everything is meant to hurt a little bit. If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't fucking remember it. You wouldn't learn from the lesson. There is this need to allow yourself to, there's definitely someone with heavy Scorpio placements around you. Yourself may have heavy Scorpio placements. So there may be really big transformations going on as far as your life purpose. I also feel like your public life versus your private life is really shifting. Things are coming to light. You're really learning a lot about yourself. Death and the Six of Cups was on underneath this. I'm not supposed to be reading that deep in here, but you're welcome. So there's definitely someone with heavy Scorpio placements that some of you I feel like are going towards. And if you yourself have heavy Scorpio placements, it's important. Or if you are ready to dive back into your spirituality. It's like, stop being afraid of that. I do feel like for some of you, there is like, don't let like sickness or darkness or illness or actual death be what brings you back to God, or honoring the God within you in a different way. Don't let it be that, and for some of you that may need to happen, but it's just like, don't let darkness be what helps you redefine what God is, or the God of your understanding. You know, it's just like however that is for you. Like, you can access that well of spirit within you without having to access it or be lured back into it by pain. And so I want you to get real practical, Pisces, about practical and regimented. The Queen of Pentacles has a routine. Like, she didn't just like, this isn't someone who just came into money. And this is also a warning that I do feel like that abundance and prosperity is coming in. But you can't be in Eight of Swords status, like not looking at it, not talking about it, being irresponsible, or like blame shifting, or just keeping yourself stuck in any sort of way. The universe isn't going to fuck you like that. It's not going to just give you all this money and you're just like not ready to do anything with it and just completely squander it. I'm not going to let you do that. So it's just like, there is abundance that wants to come into you, but the Emperor at the bottom of the deck says, hey, it's really time to take a look at you, prioritize yourself, figure out who the fuck's in the driver's seat, who's running your show, which monkeys in your circus are yours to tend to. And understand that everybody, especially when Mars goes into Leo, that's in a couple days, everybody's going to be in a place of more like of heightened aggravation, of wanting just to move more in silence, to move more in authenticity, to just move. There's shifting, there's fire, it's coming. Like the gumption, the audacity. And so it's just like, find the audacity to tap into being really responsible. Try that on for a while. Because everything else, like, you know, doesn't work that great. And it's like, and I'm sure, yes, you know what I mean by responsible. Like, I'm not saying that your life is falling apart. I feel like all of you we all have different levels of responsibility. But you know what this is. You know what your Queen of Pentacles can look like. This is you really doing all the things that you want to do. And so let it be that, hey, I'm going to get up and meditate and stretch for 10 minutes for a week. Do that. See how proud of yourself you are. See how much insight you gain about yourself. Then do it for another week. See how you level up. See how much easier it is for you to communicate with yourself, and for you to really take a look at the ways that you need to be moving forward and what you need to let go of, so that you can really walk into this very intense scorpionic rebirth that's available to you. But it just may take a little death first. It may take some transformation first. And the hardest transformation is the one that's internal, that you choose, that you're opting into. And I feel like a lot of you are opting into grand changes that are really going to bring in a lot of prosperity, abundance, and the highest octave of self-love, which is discipline. All right, let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.